Namaste. In the past couple of weeks, we explored the importance of listening heartfully and how to cultivate this as a habit. The capacity to find inner stillness and learn to listen with empathy is a life changing skill. Today, let's look at another essential component of communication: speaking with love. The Adi Guru of Heartfulness, Pujya Sri Lalaji Maharaj, gave us some profound guidance to help us speak with love. His inspiring commentary called Principles of Conversation is a foundation for heartful way of communication. You may remember I mentioned previously that it's not only our heartfulness meditation and cleaning practices that help us to evolve spiritually, but how we conduct our day to day interactions that also make a significant contribution to this process. Pujya Sri Lalaji Maharaj put great importance on this to the extent of saying that, I quote, "A civil tongue is a prerequisite to achieve the goal of human life." How wonderful. Do we have such a tongue? Civil tongue? That is quite a strong statement, isn't it? I will repeat it. A civil tongue is a prerequisite to achieve the goal of human life. Speaking with respect, with care, with love is an essential characteristics for a human being on the spiritual journey. It's not just about having polished manners, it's so much more than such manners. My personal experience of implementing Lalaji Maharaj's principles in my life has been truly transformative, especially when I did not put those principles in my practice. I suffered. I would like to share with you some more of such insights. Although he wrote in a philosophical way, it is when we apply it practically that the beauty of it gets revealed. He said that our style of speech should be like the divine current, flowing evenly. And our efforts to copy this pure flow will yield innumerable benefits. One habit to work on is to avoid emotional outbursts and knee-jerk reactions or short-tempered and moody reactions. Instead, we could make an effort to talk in a calm and steady manner. Imagine this like a current of air that is moving along, but within the current, the air particles are still. For this, we need to remember the power of pause. Before speaking, take a deep breath and wait a moment, especially if you are feeling emotionally triggered by what someone has said or done. The author Mark Twain used to say that the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. I do realize that this business of curbing our emotional reactions is easy to say but hard to practice. But let's give it a try. Throughout the day, we can try to remain connected to the calm state that is experienced while we had meditated in the morning. Allow that to carry along and then speak from our hearts. Speak from this light condition that is the outcome of our meditation. Pujya Sri Lalaji Maharaj says that, and I quote, "This results in effectiveness, and whatever is spoken touches people's hearts." Unquote. It's like we find the right words automatically when we are meditative. The words are carried by the divine current that connects us all, creating a resonance between us. Now, this might sound rather idealistic For example, in stressful work situations or when communicating with our teenagers about their habits at home. However difficult it may appear, keep trying. Each effort, no matter how small, will yield rewards. The simple practice of keeping calm brings so many benefits, and by, it could become your second nature. Imagine don't you don't remain calm and you start arguing and fighting with your teenager or with your colleague. Will that help? So what choices do you have? Well, happily we receive so much encouraging feedback from people who are sincerely trying to implement heartful communication about the difference that it's making to having harmonious relationship in their lives. We have previously talked about the importance of our intentions when we are in communication and the trap of wanting to be right. Instead of being curious, we become furious during these moments when you insist on being right. Now, let us understand a new motto: intend to connect, not correct. Let me repeat. Let us cherish this intentions to connect rather than correct. A key principle that Pujya Sri Lalaji Maharaj shared was to nurture the intention of having no inclination to cause any hurt to anybody's heart. Unquote. Even when we are consciously holding this intention of not wanting to hurt anyone, and we do want to be caring, we may not realize the power that words have. Words carry vibrations, energy, don't they? They have their own power. For example, how do you feel when I say the word stupid? Now notice how you feel when I say the word peaceful. You can experiment with this more for yourselves. Words and actions have a life of their own, as do thoughts and feelings. Their impact is far reaching, influencing not only oneself, but also many others. Moods and emotions affect the surroundings either positively or negatively. Thoughts and feelings and words create energy fields. These energy fields that can be as destructive as tsunamis, or they can be heartwarming and healing. They can contribute to our growth and evolution. It depends on us, our consciousness, and how we express ourselves in the world. This is the underlying principle behind well understood mantras and their repetitions. The children in one of our heartfulness schools did some experiments about the effect of words and energies. They first set up pairs of living things, for example, pairs of plants of the same type and size, pairs of seed trays and young seedlings in them, and they cut one apple into two halves. Then the children wrote labels, good or bad, on each individual in the pair. All were given the same amount of water and sunlight, but each day children would speak to the plants differently. To the good plants, to the seedlings and apple half, they would say things like, you are beautiful, you are gorgeous, you are strong and healthy, we love you. To the bad ones, they would say things like, you are ugly, I can't stand you, you are worthless, we hate you. As the days passed, the plant and seedlings they labeled as bad started to droop and die eventually, and the apple turned black and rotten. The so called good plants thrived and they grew stronger, and the apple keeps its color not as fresh, but it didn't turn black. We can see all too painfully that how we think and speak will be affecting us and others. When you curse someone, you thought you cursed the other person and you're going to hurt the other person. But this hurt will also touch your heart. You'll also ruminate, contemplate, and carry this hurt in your heart as well. Hurting hearts or lifting the spirits is in our hands. Words have an impact on us, on all living beings. The words that we speak, the way we behave, talking with a certain tone, they all have impact. I would like to correct my statement that not just living beings, but everything around us gets impacted because of how we behave, how we talk, how we conduct our life. Our vibrations, how they flow in us, also resonate outside. The flow of speech should not carry any kind of weight on it. So, let us aim to have conversations that leave no impressions on our subtle bodies. Subtle bodies means manas, chit, buddhi, ahankar. Our way of conversation must not create any heaviness on any of this. Instead, they should bring lightness and joy. Remember that an open, smiling, joyful heart always attracts grace, reflecting like golden sunlight on the waters of a still lake. Hafiz, the 14th century Sufi and Persian mystic, said, I quote, "What we speak becomes the house we live in." Unquote. What we put out into the world creates its own atmosphere, its own reality. If we think and speak with kindness, we will live in kindness. If we gossip about others and speak ill of them behind their back, we create a toxic condition. In heartful communication, we have what we call a gossip checklist. There are 3 points to consider before speaking about someone in their absence. Number 1 point. Am I 100% sure that what I am going to say about the other person is true? Number 2. Is what I want to say is kind and positive? And number 3. Is what I want to say necessary? So let's repeat this again. Is it true? Am I being kind and being positive? And what I'm going to say, is it really necessary? 3 things. As a challenge for this week, please adopt this checklist and try to make it a habit. If we can do this, we will probably remove damaging gossips from our way of relating to altogether. The other exercise I would like to suggest is to practice speaking in the way that Pujya Sri Lalaji Maharaj recommended. When you find yourself talking with a strong emotional charge and your voice is tight and sharp and aggressive, pause. Breathe deeply and say whatever it is. Again, quietly, gently, and evenly. So let's try to pay careful attention to our speech, to what we say and how we say. Bring your heart into coherence with your whole being before you speak by bringing your attention to the heart. If needed, you can breathe in and out few times with special attention towards your heart. Smile. Smile to your heart when you speak. Since you are watching Astha Bhajan, I presume you all are God loving and a believer of God. Whatever you are believing in, have that entity in your heart. Cultivate reverential attention towards the presence of that entity. Now, you are ready to either listen or address. Choose your words carefully. Keep your tone even, calm, and compassionate. At least try to speak without hurting others. Help them to feel comfortable. When your speech is calm, your emotions will be calm, your body will be calm, and your thoughts will be calm. Witness the expansion of feelings in your heart. You will remain calmly connected with the real. When you practice this consistently with awareness, it has the power to really transform your life. This culture, heartfulness way of communicating, will be contagious. All your children, your grandchildren, they learn a lot just merely watching you communicate. We'll explore more on this idea of speaking with love in further episodes.